Hello fellow YouTubers and welcome to Ads Drafts. In this video I'm going to be doing a quick overview of this Lenovo ThinkVision monitor model P27h-10. It's factory calibrated IPS panel, so great viewing angles, and it's 27-inch 1440p resolution, and it also has USB-C connectivity. Very sleek looking monitor. I'm going to show you that in a second, so let's get started. And there you have it. So what you see on the table is what you would get in a European version, or in this case in UK/Ireland market. So you have the monitor, the stand, power cable, USB cable, USB-C cable, another part of the stand, manual, and factory calibration report. Let's have a look at that first. So there we go. Factory calibration report basically gives you more information there, what's done and what's the criteria, series, test equipment used, and then all the results, which is pretty neat. And we're gonna do some manual calibration here ourselves. We'll have a look at that later, but it's included, so that's pretty neat. Which means for those of you who don't have a calibrator for the monitor, which can be from €100 to anything well above, you don't need one, it's already ready. What's interesting about this monitor, and I'm going to show you the manual, which usually I don't read, but so included are these things as I mentioned here. However, I think this is for North America, which would be HDMI also included, display port, and USB-C A type cable as well. Now, in terms of swivel and all these angles, for those of you who want some information, it's already here. So have a look at that. So back to the interesting stuff. Because it has USB-C, this particular display actually can work on USB-C alone. So if you have a laptop with USB-C, you connect it to the monitor, and that's all you need. That should provide the power and the display capability. If I'm not mistaken, unfortunately I don't have the laptop, so I can't test it, but I believe what you can also do, you can charge laptop, so maybe that's what it is. But basically some sort of extra functionality is there for those of you who have USB-C. It's not just for port replicate or something like that, it's more than this, and that's what's neat about this monitor. Also, what's interesting here I found is that there's a couple of display ports, but one of the display ports, if you connect, you can daisy chain to another monitor. So you connect to one display port on the monitor and it daisy chains to another one. That'd be interesting to see. Unfortunately, I don't have enough monitors to test that out, but if you're interested in something like this, some sort of functionality is there. So maybe have a look at that on Lenovo website or check with Lenovo themselves. What I'm going to do next is I'm just going to put it on the stand and we'll have a look at everything else. Now, at least in theory, obviously you have VESA mounts, or VESA mount for those who are interested. In theory, it should be pretty simple. So like so, and it clips in. But before I do that, I probably should attach these two, which is, as you see, very simple. Don't need any tools or anything like that. Once secured, flip it back, and that's the stand attached. Right underneath the monitor we have a couple of ports here, so two HDMI, two display, and USB Type-C. Interesting thing to note is here display port has a little arrow, so what you can do is connect display port cable here, another cable here, and goes to another monitor for daisy chaining. Not sure how it's implemented in software or whatever way it works, whether it's just duplication or whatnot, but handy to have. Other side doesn't really have anything other than the power connector, and you have Kensington lock here, so you can lock it up, and there's some sort of adapter holes here or something like that right there. 1, 2, and 3. Not sure what's that for, maybe some sort of accessories or something like that. Moving along, on this side we have headphone jack or speaker jack, and then we have super speed USB ports here, 3, and the fourth one is for charging, so you can actually charge your phone or whatnot, and that's typical for Lenovo to have it in yellow color. Now these ones are not marked as blue, which usually if it was USB 3.0 it would be, but I presume they are USB 3.0 just because they offer the SS designation and the USB symbol right there. Now, before we look at the front of the monitor, go connecting and whatnot, I'm just going to show you the options that you have there for tilt, swivel and whatnot. And that's basically the stand. Now, this is the first time I've used this particular monitor and this particular stand. I had similar model before, but I really wasn't adjusting the stand too much. And one thing I can say for sure is it's not the sturdiest stands out there. For instance, as you see, it's very plasticky build, and it does wobble. So if you have some sort of a shake of your table or something like that, as you see, it does wobble a bit, but it's not too bad. If, I don't know, unless you're having an earthquake or you're always kicking your desk, shouldn't be a problem. So a stand is a stand, and at the same time it does allow you quite a bit of a movement, and for this price I think it's pretty good. Right, let's power it on, have a look at calibration. Calibration is now complete. At the moment you're viewing the monitor with no calibration switched on or calibration data switched off, so it's as is. I needed to do two things from the menus. I needed to lower the brightness to 65 out of 100, and I needed to change the profile to sRGB from, I think it was called reddish or something like that, that came from the factory. Now, just a few words on the factory calibration. Perfectly usable and perfectly accurate. You don't need to do any calibration yourselves. If you do want, you can use the tool like over there, Spider 4 Pro, and do the calibration yourself, but it's not necessary. And after calibrating, I found that the image was just as good as when it came from the factory. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch from this image that you see now. Now the monitor, by the way, is lit up by natural light. So I'm going to switch from this image to a calibrated view. And what you see now is a calibrated view. Not a huge difference, a little bit of warmer image and probably more, well, not probably, more color accurate in terms of, for those of you who are doing some sort of photo or video work. Now, one thing to note is this monitor is not targeted to professionals. It's factory calibrated, yes. It's not a 10-bit panel as far as I'm aware. I think it's an 8-bit panel. I did some pattern tests on this monitor and they looked perfectly fine, but I still think it's an 8-bit panel. It's factory calibrated, so it's ready for hobbyists and even professionals, depending on your budget, don't get me wrong. Having said that, I think this monitor is great for pretty much any work you want to do, including gaming, movie watching and whatnot. I'm going to try to show you last thing the uniformity of gray, which I think is great. Black uniformity, not so much, because you can see a little bit of the LED backlight, which is perfectly normal on these type of monitors, but it's there. I'm not sure if I'll be able to show you in current video, but I'll try. And yeah, guys, that's my impressions on this monitor so far. I think it's great. I think the stand could be better, like Philips, for instance, that I reviewed before. I think that stand was way better, but in terms of adjustment, it's similar, so you're not losing adjustment capabilities. And yeah, I might do a follow-up review of this of this monitor later on. After a little bit of use, feel free to ask any questions in the comment section down below and I'll answer if I can. And yeah, I'm gonna leave you with gray uniformity and black levels on this monitor. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.